Hello, and welcome back to the next part of White Album 2's extra episode. This was an episode which was included in the PlayStation 3 version of White Album 2, and it takes place after Kazusa Normal. Haruki is deep into his depression. Setsuna is trying to help, but at this point all her family is like, look, this is not healthy for you. Maybe you should stop. Which of course just makes her angry. So let's check in with Kazusa and her mother. This is part 4. It's really coming down. It's supposed to be like this the whole weekend. I saw the forecast this morning. Come to think of it, this is the rainy season in Japan. I guess. You still don't feel like talking about Japan? Not really. My mother, who still had her attachments to Japan, and I, who had thrown away Japan and all my memories with it. Anytime that place came up, our conversation would slip out of sync. Which is still so painful. So they went over this in one of the earlier episodes. Yoko abandoned Japan. Her dying wish was to live and die in Japan, and she gave that up when Kazusa ran away to Vienna so that she could be with Kazusa and protect her daughter. So it's definitely a point of disagreement, of soreness for the two of them. Look, Kazusa. What? There's a great big tree right outside the window. Yeah, and? Once all of that tree's leaves have fallen off, I'll be... Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like the ... We're in early summer and it's raining. It's gonna keep living for a while. Until winter, at this rate. Even so, while we were spending time together, Mom made the effort to act the part of the usual, detached Yoko Toma. Still, it was all too clear to me exactly how much effort it was taking. And lately, the enjoyable hours we found at the start had been steadily decreasing. She had lost weight, her appetite had plainly lessened. Day by day, her limbs were growing more withered. Day by day, she was getting paler. Her hair and skin were losing their luster. That's hard. Especially because Kazusa ran away from everything that was making her upset. Now she's clinging to this thing, which, her only lifeline. But even being around that lifeline is making things worse. And it's almost, obviously a very different situation, but it's almost like Haruki and Setsuna. He's clinging to her because that's all he really has. He does have Takeya, but in his mind, she's really one of the biggest ones. But being around her makes him sad and upset. And for Kazusa, being around her mother, who is very much not doing well, is also making her upset. The biggest thing was, she had become negligent in tending all of that. You know there's a small safe in the back of the living room closet, right? Wait, really? Yes, there is. The key for that safe is in the altar drawer. You seriously brought an altar all the way to Vienna? Wait, we have an altar? That was a joke. Oh, right. Actually, it's in the top drawer next to my bed. Okay. Open the safe with that key, and you'll find a key to a safe deposit box. What's with all these keys? The safe deposit box needs a pin, too, not just a key. I'm going to tell it to you now, so memorize it. Don't write it down. Just keep it in your head. Ugh, fine. Interesting to think, does Kazusa have a good memory or a bad memory? She's not good with things like school and remembering facts and stuff, but the fact that she plays piano and can memorize all of the music and the notes, I wonder if she's the type of person that is good with remembering numbers. Make sure you remember it. It'll be important when the moment comes. I'm not interested in property or entitlements. You know that better than anyone, Mom. Well, you should start being interested. Someday, you're going to take over the Yoko Toma offices. Well, maybe it'll be Kazusa Toma offices then. I don't need that. Once I stop being able to play the piano, I'll just die a dog's death. I won't have any regrets in a life like that. No, absolutely not. You have to live happily even if you're alone. Money can't buy happiness. Even you must know that. Still, it's not possible to die a dog's death happily. Now listen to me, Mom. And what I do like about Fumiaki Maruto-san's writing is that he often uses parallels as a tool in his stories. And again, this parallel, when Haruki's like, I'm just going to die. I just want to die. And now Kazusa here, she's like, well, after you die, I'm just going to die. Two completely different situations, two reasons for depression, but the same type of thoughts are running through both of their heads. Interesting. It's very fun. I really, really like looking at the parallels. And even though the most enjoyable time had passed, Mom hadn't stopped her chit-chat. She was clearly shaving down her stamina and vitality in her attempts to keep things light, but what she said was starting to get strange. This was a painful moment, different from anything before. I was chatting with Mom, but it wasn't fun at all. She wouldn't tease me, wouldn't evade the topic at hand, just kept repeating these joyless, unpleasant discussions. Again, Kazusa is getting no pleasure out of hanging out with this person, with her mom. Just piling up talk about things left undone, worries, reminiscences, as though the person speaking before me were no longer, that definitely should be no longer, Yoko Toma. Say, Kazusa, do you want to know about your father? No, I don't want to hear it. Why not? I'm not interested now. That's all. But supposing you were left all alone in the world. Wherever I end up from now on, the only parent I have is Yoko Toma. Kazusa. For that matter, I felt guilty over the fact that I was going to end up being Yoko Toma's only descendant. I don't think that should bring you guilt. That's sad. Well, okay. Because she did want to be pregnant, and that was a big point in one of the earlier chapters. She was very upset that she wasn't pregnant, and now she's still feeling like, dang, I can't even bring you a descendant because I'm never going to love another man again, as she says in her words. So stop talking like that all the time. I don't have any regrets. I don't resent you or hate you. Kazusa, stop. Please. I'm sorry, Kazusa. I can't leave you anything. Mom's weeping resounded quietly through the hospital room, filling the gaps between the sounds of the rain. I told you, stop. My words weren't out of embarrassment. I genuinely wanted her to stop. Things were too sad this way. Mom had lived her life in such an easygoing way, and now her humanity was wavering, little by little. And could it mean that before anything happened with her life itself, the existence of Yoko Toma was already meeting a dull, sluggish death? It's tough. It's absolutely tough. Yoko Toma deserves to cry 1,000 tears. She deserves to be sad, and she deserves to be able to complain about dying, you know? The problem is, complaining about that to your own daughter, to be blunt, is cruel. Because obviously she doesn't want to hear about that. She doesn't want to talk about that. It's not that she doesn't understand it and doesn't know. It's just, it's just too bad. There's really no good thing. There's no better way to go about it either. It's just sad for everyone. Yoko Toma was a proud god to me, a selfish mother, an unreachable rival, and a dear friend to whom I could talk without care. But the person here now was an ordinary human, a quiet-hearted old woman worrying over the future of this youth. This wasn't the Yoko Toma that I and the world had wanted. Listen, Mom, you should get out of this hospital. So, unable to bear this atmosphere any longer, I forced an unreasonable demand onto her, even though she was weaker than I was. Then, I'm gonna make you listen to my piano playing. I'm miles better than I was at that concert. I've been playing 50 hours, 100 hours a day. Because I was still weak. I couldn't graduate that quickly from the spoiled brat chasing after her mother's shadow. Oh, because Tomoyoko asked her to play 50 or 100 hours a day, so now she's saying she's been doing it. That's so sad. What do you want? Beethoven? Schubert? Mozart? Give me any request and I'll play it. Just quit saying stuff that's gonna make me sad. Clôture. Huh? And at that moment, Mom raised her eyes, slightly red from crying, and muttered that single word. Play clôture. That's so sad. It's actually the closest I've been to crying so far in this story. Good. It was such a minor piece that even people with a taste for classical music probably wouldn't be able to call it up quickly in their minds. Its composer, the time in which it was composed, and its original title were all unknown. Even its title now, Clôture, had been given to it by people who claimed its origins were in France. Germans called it Die an der Zeit des Glücks, a completely different title, asserting that it was theirs. And I knew both titles well. I played it in my debut performance here in Europe. It's the piece I've played the most in my life. Yes, because it was Mom's greatest pride. And, more importantly, a concerto? A piano concerto performed with an orchestra. In other words, it would require holding a concert or chartering an orchestra. I couldn't do it alone. It was a piece that would require the strength of many other people. And this is what's beautiful about this suggestion. One of her mom's final wishes for her playing the piano is to play a group piece. And for that, she needs to reach out to others. And for that, she needs to build connections. And that's what her mom is most worried about in the world, is Kazusa having no connections when she passes away. So this request is really, really multifaceted. And I think Kazusa kind of knows that, in a sense. She understands fully that there's a lot more to this than she's saying outright, which is beautiful. So let's continue on to the next part. We are on episode 5, checking in with the girls, the gaggle of girls again. So, that's the deal. Hey, you'll be a part of it, right, Setsuna? Hey, Setsuna? Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. Come on, we girls only get together like this once a month. Stop thinking about other stuff and focus on having fun. Are you tired? Oh, no, I'm not. Sorry, could you repeat what you just said? When Tomo started talking to me, the clock read 9 p.m. precisely. The show, Setsuna. We're doing a show in October to commemorate the 10-year anniversary of Troy. A show, huh? Today was our regularly scheduled monthly gathering. And so like we've seen in other routes, whenever Setsuna kind of reaches the end of her rope mentally, right, whenever she is really not well off, she starts to not listen. She starts zoning out and just kind of being lost inside her own mind. And that's what we're seeing again here, which is a super bad sign. Right at this moment, Takeya-kun was visiting his department in my place. I should have been able to relax and enjoy myself as late as I wanted today. But let's make it an all-night performance with all the regulars. Start on Saturday night, then end it after all the shows have finished. All we have to do is decide on the set order, and then we don't really have to think about the time frame. That sounds like a kind of a loosey-goosey venue. That's just like Troy. All the regulars there are really friendly with each other. They don't seem like rivals at all. It's going to be the first Saturday in October starting at 6 p.m. You'll be able to make it, right? An all-nighter might be a bit tight for me. I'd probably just come for a bit to see the acts I know. I hope they're early on. No, you wouldn't just be coming for just a bit. You'd be performing, Setsuna. Huh? This time the three of us spent together, which was supposed to be a relaxing breather, was weighing on me a bit right now. Which again, very unhealthy. Whenever Setsuna thinks too much about Haruki, she distances herself from all of her own connections. Because now she's on shaky ground with her family, she's not paying attention to her friends, her brain is really just hyper-focused on Haruki, which isn't doing him or her any favors. I said all the regulars. That means Roots too. In other words, our favorite songstress, Setsuna. Oh, that'd be great. I haven't heard you sing in a long time. Huh? But I'm just a helper. You're the only one who sees it that way, Setsuna. And anyway, the members have been asking me to discuss it with you. And on top of that, Tomo had to bring up something heavier than usual. Roots is popular enough that it could get the last slot. That would probably be pretty late into the night. Yeah, I can't do that. I wouldn't be able to make it. Come on, it'll be a weekend night. I'll explain things to your parents. No, weekends are even less free for me. You know that, Tomo. Setsuna. It's just one day. It's Troy's anniversary. They've done a lot for you, Setsuna. But I'd have to rehearse, you know? I'd be stuck taking time off to do that. It'd only be once or twice. You can cover the rest of your practicing with karaoke. Tomo's usual enthusiasm was painful right now, somehow. Yeah, because normally, if Setsuna were in her normal mindset, this would be such an exciting thing for her. She'd be excited to be singing, to be on stage, to be practicing karaoke. But literally right now, all that she's thinking is like, oh, like I have to take care of Haruki. I can't enjoy myself. I can't hang out with friends. I can't do my hobbies. Awful, awful, awful mindset to be stuck in. Oh, I know. You can invite Kitahara-san if you want. Seeing you sing might make him feel a little better. No, I can't make Haruki-kun go out somewhere with crowds of people right now. Yes, she was the same as ever. She did everything at her own pace. I knew that. I knew it, but... Don't get angry about this, Setsuna. She didn't know. I'm not getting angry. I just wanted her to understand. I want you guys to understand what's going on with Haruki-kun. Yeah, you know how I am. Sometimes I get too pushy and it ticks people off. Why wouldn't she change? Whose fault was it that I felt that way? Still, you ought to have some fun, Setsuna. Have enough fun for both you and Kitahara-san. Enough fun for Haruki-kun? Well, yeah. Remember what you yourself said? I realized recently that if I don't enjoy life fully, genuinely, I'll never be able to make him smile. This is such an important point, too, because literally the last meeting that they had, she did say that. She's had to be happy. And like I always say, both sides of the couple have to kind of be complete and be content and happy before they can come together and make each other happy. And right now, Setsuna is not, obviously Haruki's not fulfilling that requirement, and now Setsuna's not fulfilling their requirement. So it's just going to be like closing chapter, two broken, bitter people who aren't able to connect. You can't keep on like this. You'll both end up going under. Now, they felt like tactless, indelicate words said by someone I didn't know. You may want to take on all his suffering, but all the suffering you might do won't bring him any ease. All the more because of who he is. Still, I can't right now. Setsuna, there's a proper time for being that easygoing. My present self probably wouldn't get along with my past self, the one who said it. And you know, this is only a month difference in time, so Definitely Setsuna's changing for the worse very quickly. And now is not that time. Setsuna. You don't get it, Tomo. No one could possibly understand. Setsuna. That's enough. Let's split up for today. Ew. It's fine. Go see Haruki. You've been watching the clock this whole time anyway. With the start of the rainy season, summer had come for real. The sky soared high above, deep and blue, and the sun displayed its fierce power, as though its true strength had finally been unleashed. But from my own world, the dampness and gloom still refused to vanish. So, now not only is Haruki super depressed, now Setsuna is super depressed because she's not able to bring him happiness, and it's really, really weighing down on her and on her mental health. But the thing is, sometimes you just can't cure people's depression, and it's okay to be sad about it, but it's not okay to make yourself depressed to kind of match that energy. That is super unhealthy, and that's what Setsuna's stuck in right now, so... And of course, Tomo's going to be bawling her eyes out now. I noticed you'd called me earlier than usual, but I didn't think this was going to be happening. Yeah, sorry. It was too much for me to handle on my own. I made Setsuna mad again. But that's a good thing. You wouldn't be Tomo Yanagihara otherwise. Really? You think so? Yep. Setsuna is definitely in the wrong here. I know that you did the right thing. But what good is it if Setsuna didn't understand? She'll understand eventually. Like I told you, Tomo, just make sure you stay on Setsuna's side. Yeah. I will. You guys had better treat me here, making me drink this terrible sake. They're so cute. I love that Tomo cries all the time because, like, honestly, relatable. She's really... Okay, wow, I almost just called her sweet. I'm still not Tomo's biggest fan in general, but I am glad that she cares so much about Setsuna that she's still harsh and she's still direct and she still tells things like they are, but then she feels bad about making Setsuna cry. It's a good balance to have. And now she's sleeping. Yeah, I see. So, how are things actually going with Haruki? Nothing's changed. Sometimes he just sleeps the whole day, and even when he's awake, it's not that different. Oh boy. Although it doesn't seem like he's going to do anything stupid on an impulse. So there's that for now, at least. Then why is Setsuna so... For Setsuna-chan, the fact that nothing has changed with Haruki is probably a source of pressure. She could be starting to think that she actually isn't helping at all and she might just be hindering him. She said herself that we needed to take a long-term view since it was likely to take some time. Well, but she's still waiting. She's hoping Haruki will show some kind of tiny positive sign. That kind of expectation will turn into despair eventually. It'll wear her heart out. Yeah, that's not a very good sign. For Setsuna-chan, I mean, rather than Haruki. What are we even supposed to do with this? I wish I had an answer to that, but I don't. There are limits to what we can do. Then who's gonna be able to save those two? It may be that, ultimately, they have to resolve it themselves. Haruki, Setsuna-chan, and that isn't gonna be possible. Even if that did help Haruki recover, it would be over for them for real this time. Well, they'll cross that bridge when they come to it, I guess. Over for real. As if anything will ever be over for real between Setsuna and Haruki. Setsuna wouldn't let that happen. Sometimes, no matter how much you love each other, you just aren't destined to be together, or your compatibility can't quite line up. Which one are you talking about here? Well, awkward. Come on, Takeya and Io, you gotta get your stuff together too. Man, we just got this bonus and now the mood's getting all dreary again. What do you think? Should we fix more to drink? I can't even talk. Should we drink more to fix it? Before that, what should we do with her? Oh, yeah. We've got to get her home safe. You saying I can take her home? Yeah, no. She still doesn't trust him fully. Well, either we split up here and you carry her then, or all three of us leave and we just get Tomo home first. That one. The three of us. Wow, that was a weirdly quick answer. You're the guy, so it's your job to carry her. Don't be so old-fashioned. You're the one with more horsepower anyway out of the two of us. Rude. Anyway, if we split up here, we wouldn't be able to do that remedial drinking. You're way more ready to go along than you used to be. Call it growing up. Does that mean we're in a grown-up relationship from now on then? Quit being an idiot and help Tomo. I'm going to take care of the check. He's trying. Just like they said, they're not able to connect right now. Roger. Come on, Tomo. Let's at least try to walk you to a taxi. Wouldn't hurt you to grow up either. Ooh, but it wouldn't hurt you to grow up either. Come on. Both of you need to get over yourselves. It's their hesitance on actually being in a relationship is so silly at this point. In high school, I get it. In university, I get it. Because Takeya was a player and Io doesn't want to subject herself to that. But at this point, like, literally what is holding them back other than just, like, teenage nervousness, you know what I mean? But I guess, to each their own, whatever. I just want it to hurry up and happen. So, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Extra episode, and I'll be back with the next one shortly. So until then, hope you take care. See you.